Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Enrico L. DiGiamarino, Jr., your professor for this class. Please call me Sam. Everyone does. What we're going to do during this video is we're going to look at the class and cover some important information that you need as you start into this course. Now, a lot of people have probably told you how hard this course is. And to a certain extent, I have to agree with them. It is not an easy course. However, I will do everything I can in my power to make it easier for you to get a good grade in this class. So, you do have to do the work, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the class material. Well, what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to take a look at some actual work in the course. You should recognize this as the sign-in page. Now, this would be for my classes. I want you to notice that I teach 2 microeconomics classes plus a macro. But notice the number beside the AB224 and down here the number. Those are the section numbers. They're going to be important, and you'll hear that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and sign into the class. Okay. And so when I sign into the class, we show up at the course homepage. A couple things to pay particular attention to every time you sign in, and that's any new announcements that I've posted. Okay? Obviously, if I'm posting it, it's important. Especially, you'll see that I'll have hints to help you with a particular assignment. I may have more videos included in the announcements that similar to this video. So there's a lot of material there that I'm going to have. So we talked about the announcements. I'd like to call your attention to the syllabus. I know that's boring, but again, a couple important things. Again, the section number is showed up right here at the top in the course number and section number in the syllabus. Again, I'm going to show you in a minute why that's important. Okay? Another important part of this is how to contact me. You have my information here, you have my university email, but even more importantly, you have my preferred email. Why is it preferred? Because it comes in on my phone and I get it immediately. So therefore, it's much easier for me to respond. Now, in addition to that, we have what my office hours are, and I'll show you that in a minute when we go to the virtual office. And we have our seminar time. Now, a few other important things that you'll want to look at as you go through the syllabus. What are we trying to accomplish in this course? Well, these are the course outcomes that we're looking for, including our general education literacy outcomes. We have it broken down by unit, so you can scroll through that. I'm not going to take time to go through it with you now. More importantly, we have the grading scale. Now, there's a total of 1,000 points in this course. There are some points that are easier to get than others. So, for instance, the seminar, you get an automatic 15 points. Now, it says if you participate in the seminar, okay? But basically, as long as you show up in the seminar, I give you the 15 points. Now, if something happens that you have to miss the seminar, okay? You get held up at work, you don't get out of work in time to make the seminar, whatever. There is an alternate assignment, and we'll look at that a little bit later, that you can do. It's basically a report that you write up and you submit that, and you can still get your 15 points. Now, I will tell you, if you contact me with a legitimate excuse, then I may excuse you from the seminar and give you the 15 points for attending, even though you didn't, and then you don't have to do the alternate assignment. So that's something that might be helpful to you. Notice that we do have 9 assignments. One of them is worth 40 points. The rest are worth 25 apiece, giving us our 240 points. We have 9 discussions, each one worth 25 points. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint about discussions. Those of you who've been here and taken other classes at Kaplan, probably familiar with this. But in the discussion area, there are a couple basic things you need to accomplish. And we're going to see that down below in a minute. But I want you to remember, these are relatively easy points for you to get. You'll notice, and a goodly share of the assignment points are relatively easy to get. Okay? The final exam's going to be a bit tougher. And I've got some things that will help you with that, but there's no guarantees. Notice we have a research paper, and it accounts for a significant chunk of points. The first 10 are just for selecting the topic, so that's an easy one. Okay? The 45 points are for doing your outline. Okay? The 50 points are for submitting your draft. Now I'm going to tell you, really focus on these two things, okay? And do them to the very best you can. Because if you get 100% on the draft, then I tell you when I return it to you with my comments that all you have to do is resubmit it, and you've already got your 235 for the final part of the paper. Those are easy points if you do a really good job on the draft. Okay? And we already talked about the seminar being easy. So the hard part of this course is the assignments. Okay? There are some points in there that you can definitely have some difficult time getting. Okay? But they are gettable. I try to give as many quality hints as I can. And the final exam. So those 60 points are going to cost. Okay. There's a lot of other information in here. Again, I'm not going to go through the details with you. I will mention that there is a points deduction that I'm supposed to give if you're late getting your assignments in. And it says if you're later than 1 week, if you're later than 2 weeks, and then after that I'm not to accept it. Now, I understand that we're all adults here. None of you, or at least very few if any, are fresh out of high school. We've all been around the block a few times. Okay? I know that life gets in the way sometimes of getting everything done that you want to do. If you will come to me with an excuse, okay, let me know what your situation is, I'll work with you. And I won't necessarily take away any of these points for being late if you have a valid reason. Okay. Beyond that, you have grading rubrics down here that tell you how the points are awarded. A couple things, let's see if it shows up here. It doesn't, etiquette. Okay. So you'll want to read through the syllabus when you get a chance. Okay. Now, we're talking about these grade points again. Going to college is not easy. By now you may have discovered that. Okay? It takes a certain amount of discipline. When you're taking a 5-credit course like this one is, every university in the country, and for that matter in the world, has some rule of thumb of how much time they expect you to spend studying in order to each week in order to accomplish that course. If it's a 5-credit course, it's expected that you're going to spend 3 hours each week for each one of those 5 credits. That means you should plan on spending 15 hours a week on this course. That's doing your reading, doing your research, doing your assignment, doing everything that goes with it. Now again, I know we're all adults, and I know that we all have situations we have to deal with. The easiest way to do that is to develop your own weekly study schedule. Now I know it sounds a little rinky-dink, but it's worth doing. Okay? First off, make up a little calendar for yourself and figure out when you have the free time each day. It may be while the kids are at school and hubby is off to work or whatever, and you've got some time to yourself. It may be in the evening after the kids go to bed. It may be, on lunch break. It may be whatever works in your world, okay? But find a way to set the time aside so that you can study, okay? Because if you don't spend, and this particular sample study schedule that I put together really only allots about 11 hours a week, and it includes the seminar time, it includes time for reading, time to do the various learning tools, work on assignment, work on research paper. So it includes an awful lot of stuff. Okay? So suffice to say that you want to be able to set up your own schedule. While we're here at the course, let's go back to the course home. Okay. So we talked about the syllabus, we talked about study schedule. What about your textbook? Where is the textbook? Well, notice over here we have what's called digital book. Okay. When you click on the digital book, it tells you that this is the microeconomics book, and that information, by the way, was in your syllabus. And if you click on this, it actually takes you to the online book, and you can pick what chapter you want to read, and then you can scroll down and do the reading. Okay? And as you finish the bottom of the page, you click the little arrow and you go to the next page, and you can do your reading. Okay? That's a lot better than having to buy a book. Books are not cheap at all. If you need to, you may need to print the pages if it's easier for you to do that, and you have the paper and the ink. I would suggest, if you do that, set your printer to draft so that you don't use too much ink, and maybe even set it in black and white so that you're not too concerned about any pictures that they put in. Let's see, I think there was a picture on the first page, and you may find that you don't really care what color the pictures are on the draft you're reading, right? So that's where you're going to find your reading at. And what else? Oh, virtual office. How can you get a hold of me? Well, you've got the tutoring center, and atomic learning. I'll let you explore those on your own. When it comes to tutoring for this course, yes, the university can provide you help, but I'm going to suggest that if you really need help understanding the material, that you come to me. And I even give you my phone number. You'll see that in a few minutes. Okay? So come to me, and I'll help you all I can. Okay. So what about this virtual office? Mentioned that I have office hours. Well, the virtual office, you can come to me anytime, and you can post a response. The only thing I ask you is, remember, this is a public forum, so anybody else can read your comments. So I put in a little welcome down here. I put in my 2 email addresses. Remember, my personal email is the easy one to get to. I even put in my phone number. It's a cell number. You can get me virtually anytime I'm not teaching a seminar. Okay? I even put down what my office hours are. Now, the office hours is on Google Connect, and so you can find me there. Okay. So we got that taken care of. Virtual office. This does not appear on your page. This is something for faculty, but I want to mention it to you. This Turnitin is a source for me as the instructor to send papers to see if people have plagiarized. In other words, copied their paper. Maybe they've decided to go to, what is it, termpaperwarehouse.com and copy down a paper from there and try to submit it for their research paper. Well, when I run it through turnitin.com, it shows me how much of that material was copied from somewhere else. And if more than just a few quotes are copied, and if someone is trying to pretend it is their thinking that they're turning in, then we call that plagiarism, and you need to be familiar with the university's policies on plagiarism. But basically, you get no points if I catch you doing that. So, okay, let's go look now at a unit. I'm going to take Unit 2 as the one we're going to look at for a few minutes. Okay, and again, you're going to have an overview on the Unit 2 homepage. It's going to tell you a little bit about what you're going to cover in this week. And again, Unit 2 would be the second week. You're going to have the unit outcomes that are covered in that particular unit in that week. You also have a to-do list of things you need to do. And then there's a list of academic tools. This is where you can get access to the Writing Center. You can find out what the plagiarism policies are. You can get access to the online library, the Math Center. So you have a lot of information here. Okay? Guide to using the Dropbox. If you need help trying to navigate through the course, there's a tutorial here. There's access to Kaplan Radio. So there's a lot of material in here. Now, you notice we've got reading icon, discussion, assignment, seminar, and all that. Well, let me give you a couple hints that may help you. Okay, first off, before you go do the reading, I'm going to suggest that you go to the discussion link, okay, and you should do this right after you sign into the course, okay, and we'll go down here to the Unit 2 discussion, and I want you to go find out what the question is. Here it says, since all economies are faced with scarcity, da 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 da. Well, if you read the question and write it down somewhere, okay, that may help you later. So we go on back to the unit, go back to Unit 2, and we have an assignment link. Well, when you click on the assignment icon, it tells you that there are 2 assignments for Unit 2. One is the Unit 2 assignment itself. The other is the research topic assignment. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Notice it says go to Doc Sharing to download your document. Well, if we go to Doc Sharing's up here, tab at the top, and you click on that. Sure enough, here is the Unit 2 assignment. Now, when you click on the assignment, it will download it to your computer. Okay? It'll tell you that you have to enable editing. Well, a couple things I want you to do right away. Okay? First off, click on Enable Editing, then click on File, and click on Save As. Okay? Now, find where you want to save it. Okay? I'm going to save it on my desktop under AB224 Documents. Okay? And I want you to give it a special name. Okay? And what is that special name going to be? And this is going to happen for every assignment. I want you to call it AB224 and then an underline. The section number you are in based on what you saw when you went to the syllabus and when you signed into your class, whether it's going to be 02 or it could be 01 as the example I'm using, whatever it is. And let's pretend that your name is Jane Smith. Okay? So you're going to put your last name, an underline, your first name, another underline, and in this case, because it's Unit 2, you're going to put the number 2. And you're going to save that document. Okay? It now has that name. Now, why is that important? Okay? It's important because when I get your document to my computer after you've filled in all your answers, I save it by course number and section number, and if I need to go back and find it, I need to find it by your last name and your first name in that course and section. Then it tells me which unit. The only thing that's going to change each week is going to be the unit number. Okay? And if it is a research assignment, after the 2, you would have put RSCH, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay? So, that's the first thing you want to do. Now you've saved it on your computer the way you're going to upload it. Then the next thing you're going to do is come down here and fill in your name, again the course number, the section number, and again we're going to pretend that this is section 01. Okay? The unit number is already there, and then you put in whatever date it is, you know, May, whatever. Okay? Now, you can save it again, and now you've got that much in. We haven't done anything about answering any questions. We've just gotten that far. Now, you can read over the questions, and you may want to print this out just with the questions. Okay? Notice that we give you the graphs. If there's an assignment requiring a graph, you don't have to create the graph. We'll give it to you. We want you to be able to read it. Okay? Then we have some questions. Okay? So these are the questions you need to be concerned about. Okay? And you'll notice that there's 5 of them, and at the bottom there's a place for references. On every assignment, even if there's no place there, put in your reference. Okay? Now you can go and find the exact way to put the reference in for your textbook. On these assignments, I'm not real fancy with APA format, but I want you to use a reference for the textbook. Okay? At a minimum, you have to use the textbook to understand the assignment. So, and if you don't have references down, you're going to lose a couple points. It's not worth losing the easy points. Okay? Now, second thing, notice the questions. If you get to a question, make sure you put down an answer. Don't leave it blank. If a question is worth 4 or 5 or 6 points and you leave it blank, I have to give you a 0. But if it's, let's say it's worth 6 points and you get it wrong, I can maybe give you 3 or 4 of those points. Okay? But if you put down nothing, it's a blank, I got to give you a 0 on that question. So don't do that. Make sure you have an answer for every question. Okay, so that's enough about the assignment. We know about that. Okay, so let's see where we are. Do header, look at questions. Okay, now that we've looked at the questions, let's go back and see what the story is on that reading. Okay, so we've looked at Unit 2, we've looked at the assignment, we've looked at the discussion question, now we go to the reading. Okay, and it will tell us that we're going to read Chapter 2 and the appendix to Chapter 2. It tells us a little bit about what they're about. Okay, and the appendix, it gives us some key concepts. Okay, and then it gives us a glossary of terms. Okay. Again, this is important for you because, as I will tell you in our first seminar, learning economics or learning anything is all about learning the language. So you're going to get to read what the main definitions are. Okay, we'll get rid of this. So we're back to our course. And the authors of the textbook have provided you with some slides. You can go through the slides for this particular course. And again, you can just scroll through them, take a look. It's telling you what the slide number is. To my way of thinking, they put way too many words in a slide, but that's beside the point. Okay, so we go back to our home for Unit 2. Also, there's an area here for learning activities, and you can click here, and they've got some more things, flashcards and fill in the blank. Now, these things are all general information regarding this particular week's work. They're not necessarily geared exactly to the assignment question that you're going to be graded on or the discussion thread question you're going to be graded on. So my suggestion is use it as you need, but don't spend a lot of time on it. Okay. Now the seminar, the link for the seminar, when you click on that, it tells you what the seminar is going to focus on and how to access the seminar. But more importantly, if you must miss a seminar, it tells you what the alternate assignment is. Okay? And it tells you 2 to 3 page paper, double-spaced, addressing the following, where you define those things. Okay? If you want your 15 points and you missed the seminar, fill that out and write up the paper. Okay? Unless you can come to me with a really, really good excuse, and then I may waive it. Okay. So, we've talked about, we need to talk about that research assignment. So let's go back here. The assignment, we said we had a research assignment. Well, and it tells you go to doc sharing for that too. So we'll go up to doc sharing, and we scroll down, and here's Unit 2 assignment. Unit 2 research, topic assignment. So again, we would open that up. Now what I'm going to suggest is you do the exact same thing we talked about before. We're going to do File Save As, and we're going to go to Desktop, AB224 Documents. Okay. And again, we're going to take the name. The name is going to be, I know why. Okay. So we're going to come back and make it be AB224 01 underline. There it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay. The only thing we're going to change is back here at the end. We're going to erase this, okay? And we're going to make it to research, RSCH, okay? And then we're going to save that, okay? And notice it's got the name up here again. You would fill in the information up here. The course number, AB224. Section number, in this case it's 01, it'd be whatever section you're in. And of course the date, you'd fill in whatever information for the date. And then right here, what I would do is I'd hit a couple enters, okay? And I would put in my topic choice, H-O-I-C-H, I can't spell, O-I-C-E, is, and I'd put a colon, and then I would scroll down and see what the actual list of topics are. And here's the list, there's 6 of them. And let's say I'm really interested in healthcare and the Obamacare plan and health. And so what I can do is just highlight that whole thing, copy it, and come up here and paste it. Okay? Now I can save this, and I'm ready to submit it to the Dropbox. Now again, I can show you the Dropbox, but mine looks different than yours. So go up here, click on the Dropbox, select the right assignment. In this case, it'll be Unit 2 research paper. Click on that, and it'll tell you where you can upload your document at. You would then go find that document on your computer, put it into the Dropbox, send it to me, I would grade it. Now, as long as you pick one of those 6 topics for your research paper, then you automatically got those 10 points. Okay, getting back out of here, let's see if there's anything else that I need to cover. Alternate assignment, we did that. Oh, for your seminar, how do you sign into your seminar? Well, let's get back out of here a minute. If you remember where you signed into your course, there's going to be information right down here that gives you the link for your seminar for the time that it's open. Now, it doesn't show here because I'm recording this before the class actually starts. I'm recording this prior to the start date of your class, so it doesn't show the seminar start time. But it will whenever you get ready, and it'll do that each week. You click on that link, it takes you to your seminar. So, now what I'd like to do is go back to Unit 1. And the reason I want to do that is I kind of skimmed over the Unit 1 because the assignment, first off, for Unit 1 is a general education literacy assignment. So if we go to that and we come down here, and you'll see it's a business etiquette assignment. Okay? Now you're going to do the same thing as far as saving the document with the correct name and all. Okay? And then it's going to have you, it tells you need a title page, an introduction, 4 points on specific business topic, and then you pick one of these and you come up with 4 points on it, and then this is the grading rubric that we're going to grade you on. So in this case, you can actually just take a plain document. You don't need to resubmit this one document, but you need to make sure you put this information at the top of your new one. Consider that your title page, and make sure that you've saved it with the right name. Okay, so that takes care of the business etiquette assignment. Again, you say, well, that's not economics. No, it isn't. It's general education literacy. Rather than you having to take a course on etiquette and ethics, we include it in the various courses that you take. So, we've got that taken care of. Go back here, and one of the things we have in Unit 1 is introductions. So when you go into the introductions, as you scroll down, you're going to see that I've already posted, and you're going to see that in the discussion area too. You want to go ahead and post your introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and all that. I've got 2 posts here, and I've included some photographs. Okay. you may well find that you want to include a photograph also. Okay. This one is, whoops, let me pull that back up again. This one is just general information about me and my wife and what I do and what I have done. Just a little personal information. So if you feel like it, go ahead and post a photograph. It makes us all people instead of disembodied text on a computer screen. Now, if we go to the discussion thread, okay, this one we have a different question, the Wealth of Nations. You're normally going to find that I'm going to have a post before anyone else posts that talks something about the particular topic. I may include a video. It may be a video I've created, or it may be a YouTube video, like in this case. Okay. And again, this is something that I thought would be helpful to you.
60-second adventure.
You may want to click on that. Again, nothing is required. Okay. Now, while we're talking about the discussion threads, a couple important things about the discussion thread. Okay. First off, we're expecting you to do your first post before Saturday at midnight. Okay. My suggestion is that you come in sometime prior to that and make at least a post. Secondly, you're expected to post on 3 separate days. Thirdly, you're expected to post to at least 2 of your classmates. Fourthly, your answer to the question, so one of your posts is an answer to the question, and then you've got to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Okay. Fourthly, your answer to the question must have a reference at the bottom. Okay. If there's no reference there, you lose some points. If you don't post by Saturday, you lose some points. If you don't post on 3 separate days, you lose some points. If you haven't posted to 2 of your classmates, you lose some points. Okay. So make sure you get all your points in. Now, notice I didn't say anything about your response. I consider the discussion thread area a learning vehicle. Therefore, you cannot answer the question wrong. Okay? In other words, anything you say is going to be acceptable. Now, if you do say something wrong, I'm probably going to correct you. So therefore, you want to read my responses to you, and if I ask you any follow-on question, you probably want to answer it unless I tell you to think about it. If I tell you to think about it, then you don't actually need to answer me. But if I ask you a direct question, then I would expect an answer. Okay? Now, I may not respond to your answer, but at least we're trying to move in a particular direction. The advantage of these discussion threads is it's a chance for everybody to bring their own background and knowledge to bear on the course. You will learn as much from your classmates as you will learn from reading and from everything else. So, again, with us all being adults, we bring a wealth of experience to the course. So, with that, I think I've covered all the important points. If you have any questions, make sure you come to me with them. And again, remember that you can find my contact information, including my phone number, so you can get me virtually anytime. Do not be afraid to call me. Okay, with that, thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please get in touch with me.